everyone, and we are back. Welcome to WWD Style Awards. All right, now we have just gone through the biggest fashion stories of the night, and Alex Badilla, Booth Moore, you guys are here to announce this year's 2024 Golden Globes Style Award winners. But before we get to that, Booth, Alex, why are the Style Awards so importante?
Well, you know, Women's Wear really wants to bring the same level of authority to covering the red carpet as we do to covering the runways. And, you know, usually now the way the industry works, like a lot of what's on the runway and a lot of the focus of the industry is really put into, you know, dressing celebrities, which is what we are seeing here tonight. And it's big business. So we really wanted to acknowledge that and give it like a level of authority and seriousness like we do the rest of our coverage.
Rightfully said, yeah.
Yeah, and also this is the right time to unpack the news and what happened at the red carpet.
Yes.
So let's go and do it.
That we saw up close and personal.
Yes.
Oh my God, so many trends, so many fun things happen.
So many fashion forecasts that you guys
I
made.
know.
Right, I couldn't believe it.
We
Yes.
did it.
Yes.
You guys so good.
Yes.
It was fun.
All right, now before we get to all of that, let's talk about some of the biggest news stories of the night. Is that we talked to most of the winners of the night. Let's
did.
talk about Divine. Congratulations in that Rodarte.
Amazing. Also,
so
she was so
pretty.
grateful and fun to talk to, right?
She had the winning spirit.
Oh my God, you're right.
Io from the Bear one.
Oh my God,
Yes.
she looked amazing in
In the-
that Prada.
The red
The
Prada.
red Prada,
Oh,
yes.
gorgeous.
And her bob.
She had
signature bob
on
you guys
trend
talked
bob.
about?
I know.
Can we talk
yes,
about bobs?
fantastic.
It totally happened.
We will. I know
Yes.
it happened.
And
It did.
Kieran won. Big congratulations to you. Now, what about major surprises on the carpet? We can talk about all the things that you knew you were gonna come see
Okay.
and then you saw. But
All
what
right, all right.
surprises?
I was sort of surprised. I don't know why that Margot Robbie wore pink because
Oh.
I thought
Too
I
on
was
the
like,
nose?
is she gonna go full Barbie or is she gonna go, you know, kind of move on? And she kind of has moved on in the last few weeks to wearing other things, but she went full Barbie in pink Armani and, you know, with the boa and everything,
I
and really
agree.
like got into the spirit of it.
Were you a good surprise or like a meh surprise?
I didn't love that look the
Okay.
most of any look, but you know, I think that she really played into the fandom around the movie, and
Okay.
that probably was appropriate for the first
Totally.
carpet for the award season.
Okay,
Totally.
I would have agreed except, like up until yesterday, I was Barbied out with the TikToks and the songs and the everything.
Yeah.
But then for some reason today, learning that Barbie just killed the nominations, had so many different reasons behind the movie that everybody came to celebrate. I was a little bit like, yay, Barbie coming through again with the Barbie-esque, you know,
Yeah.
couture that she was doing. So I was excited about it. What about you?
I'm not sure if we're gonna see that at the Oscars. I think this
I
is
think
was
we're
like
good here.
Yeah.
this is the
This
end.
is the
Yeah,
stop.
it's true. Yeah.
No more Barbie.
I think
It's
there's
true.
no more Barbie. I think it's perfect for the beginning of the year.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then it's over.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
I
the
agree
press
with
tour
that.
went on a long time.
A
That was a
long
lot of pink looks.
Absolutely. With that, any major looks that surprised you that you really just, you know, can't stop thinking about?
I thought Lily Gladstone just looked so majestic and
Yes.
sort of like, you know, she knew that she had this big nomination and this movie is so important, and the Valentino look really, you know, it was regal, and
Yeah.
it, you know, she had this long white column and this dramatic coat, and it was sort of like the perfect diva moment. But then she had jewels that were, you know, she had this gorgeous Bulgari necklace, but then she also wore, you know, some earrings by an indigenous designer. So she
Yeah.
really wanted to share her platform with an indigenous designer.
In full representation like we love that she does.
Yeah, and also the fact that it was custom Valentino.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Made it
totally.
very specific. I
And
thought.
she had worn it in Cannes. She had worn Valentino in Cannes.
Right.
Yeah, and she returned to it.
I think that also, for example, Como Domingo
Oh my
looked
gosh.
incredible.
Heavily.
Also, such a touching moment when
Yes.
we spoke to him. It was great. But that Pharrell Williams for Louis Vuitton moment felt also breaking news to me because
Yes.
I haven't seen that designer in the red carpet at that level, and it was rock and roll. you know?
Absolutely.
He took the military reference for that like colored, beautiful jacket with the basically flowy pants. It was great. He looked great.
Yeah, the
You
fact
know?
that he even brought in just such a personal touch
Right.
from the actual, you know, the actual civil rights leader that he had portrayed in his film. Bringing that to our carpet, it showed how much of a moment this was for him in his life.
Yeah,
And also
definitely.
also the fact that a lot of the brands not only had full looks, but the full look was like a full look with the jewelry.
Yeah.
Because Coleman had Louis Vuitton jewelry, the pins, the different pins, and also we saw that in other actresses.
Yeah.
as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like you guys called it.
Yeah,
true.
they had the full look is not only shoes, bags, and dresses. Now it's like jewelry, fine jewelry. It's great.
Absolutely. Now, any collections that you both have seen on the runway that you saw emerge onto the red carpet this year?
I think Schiaparelli had a real moment.
Yes.
And you know, American designer Daniel Roseberry, who has really been killing it, sort of reinventing this house, and you know, with all the surrealist touches, and has really gotten a big boost from Hollywood. And it was nice to see that translate onto an award show red carpet this time. You know, I thought Natasha Lyonne had an absolutely incredible look, and so sort of befitting of her character as a person, and also
agree.
the kind of characters that she plays. You know, with this like corset that sort of stood up, and you know, and then these boots that had like the key lock on them and everything, and the earrings that were almost like shells. And yeah, I mean, she loved the surrealist aspect, and then she had a great quote that she told us where she was like, what could be more surreal than this like crazy red carpet situation that we're on
That's
right now,
so true.
you know? Yeah, so I thought that was a breakout, it was a breakout to see Schiaparelli represented tonight.
Yeah, because then you wonder when you see those models walking on the runway, who's gonna wear this? And
Yeah.
then obviously it's gonna be Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
she's-
see those things in action, you're like, I understand the connection between fashion and culture right now.
Yeah.
And you also had some run-ins with your friends from the runway.
Oh my God, do you see that? I'm
Yes.
like, I remember when you were in that runway. I know where that
Tell
dress
us
comes
about
from.
that moment for you when you saw
Carrie
the dress.
Russell, yeah, and Jill
Yeah.
Sander. It was amazing. I saw her in backstage and we spoke, and then she was there, and then she was wearing the absolutely same dress that we saw in that show. And also the idea of minimalism with embellishments, such an interesting concept here in the red carpet. We've seen a lot of fashion. That's something
All
I'm
the-
gonna really.
I think the main character this year was the jewelry, like you guys said. I
Yeah.
could not
God.
believe how much detail went into even that oyster pearl.
Yeah.
Elle
Yeah.
Fanning.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
That
the vintage
pearl, it
dress.
was like the size of a globe, and it just sat there, and it just was the perfect hue
Yeah.
that matched her ensemble.
Yeah.
Now I know something that caught your eye, Booth, was the eye makeup tonight. Tell us about that.
I loved the ones who were like matching their eyeshadow to their dresses, you know? Amanda Seyfried, I thought, I loved her purple shadow and her Armani dress. It was like this big bow, and it just, it made her eyes stand out. And then, you know, we saw Elle Fanning, who had that beautiful vanilla vintage Balmain dress, again with the bow. And she was just luminous. It was like angelic,
was.
you know? And she said that she'd worked, I think, with the same makeup artist since she was 13
Yes.
or
Right.
something. Yeah, and just gorgeous.
I love the hair pulled back and the minimal makeup. She was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then also, you know, from The Crown, Elizabeth Debicki, like just amazing, no makeup. I think
My
we told
gosh.
her like you're wearing this big trend, and she's like, what is that?
I know. I said,
yeah.
I always say, you wearing no makeup, and she's like, what is that?
Yeah.
But I want to say that the long hair seemed like so simple with the Dior gold metallic dress.
Oh,
she looked
that Elizabeth
angelic.
wore.
Yeah.
She looked like a princess.
She really did.
I loved her in that show, and I think she won, right, for that?
Yeah,
She did, yes.
She was
Big congrats,
gorgeous.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And then Rosamund.
Yeah.
Even though she had a beautiful accessory for her face,
Yes.
she had the no makeup look underneath too. Her eyes were just
Absolutely.
glowing underneath, and it just looked. Everybody had that fresh skin, that glass
Yeah,
skin
it's
that's
true.
really in right now.
Yeah.
Rosamund Pike, talking about a runway look, that was
Yes.
the perfect runway look,
Yeah,
you know?
that Dior couture.
Right. That could be opening or closing a runway show.
Yeah,
It was
definitely.
beautiful. She was
Perfection.
breathtaking.
Yeah.
I loved
Absolutely.
her.
All right, friends, now that we've digested everything, I think it's about time we get into it. One of the biggest things we were looking forward to last night was Hollywood's up-and-coming young stars.
Yes.
With that, we bring up our first category, Best Newcomer.
You should take it.
All right.
You should take
Come
it.
on.
Okay, that was Lily Gladstone.
Oh, of
my
course.
God.
Because She wore this custom Valentino white column gown and a black coat, and then she had this Bulgari diamond necklace, but she also wore antelope women design earrings from a Blackfeet designer, and really wanted to bring in an indigenous designer to give exposure to as well. I think her whole awards season so far, all of her press tour has been really interesting. You know, and I think that she's really sort of done some unexpected things, and again introduced us to some designers that maybe we wouldn't have known. And she's really been someone to watch and someone to continue to watch.
Yeah, I love the fact that she's sharing the spotlight as a way of promoting indigenous designers. And from the start, she's been mixing really well-established names like Louis Vuitton with names that we didn't know before. So at the same time, it's sharing the equity of those brands right there. And she did it again last night.
So, best beauty of the night.
Yeah, that's me.
I am dying to hear who you have to say because we have so many names that did it so well. Who shall this person be?
I mean, I want to say that I'm such a big fan of The Crown. Elizabeth Debicki was our winner for beauty.
And she won a Golden Globe.
Woo!
Yes, we knew.
Well deserved.
We knew.
All right, now let's get to the men. Because the men kept it hot on the carpet last night. I was just so impressed.
Me too.
So, best menswear for the WWD Style Awards goes to...
Coleman Domingo!
I knew it! Oh, could we ever have guessed anybody else? You've had your eye on Coleman since the moment he left our platform.
I want to say this is a big moment for Pharrell Williams.
Yes.
He launched his Louis Vuitton collection last summer. This is the big first moment of red carpet for him. So Coleman Domingo is the perfect model for Pharrell Williams.
And such a humble sweetheart.
Yes. I want to say that the military mount-collared jacket with the flare pants.
Yeah, so good.
Very fitted, very long. He wore it with such a kind of like, you know, like sexiness and cool.
Yeah.
It was great.
So much debonair.
So much debonair.
And there's 50 Louis Vuitton pop-up shops with his collection around the world that you can actually
Let's not forget that.
you can go buy it
Let's not
in.
forget
So
that.
there's a good advertisement for it.
No, but I want to say he looked like a rock star in that look.
Yeah.
He was so great and cool. you
Yeah.
know?
It worked.
He looks like a winner,
It
regardless.
worked.
of
Absolutely.
everything else.
All the brooches, they worked.
The brooches were great. In spite of also something else we should talk about, the full look of jewelry and
Right.
fashion.
100%.
It's absolutely
No
happening.
details
earlier.
left
Yeah,
unlooked.
for
It's
sure.
totally happening here too.
Absolutely. Now, my favorite category is the ice on the red carpet, the diamonds and the rocks. Who had best jewelry of the night?
Well, Ariana Greenblatt is amazing, and I really loved her whole approach to red carpet dressing. She wore an Yves Saint Laurent tuxedo, which, you know, classic, Le Smoking, Yves Saint Laurent, you can't go wrong. But she really was one of the few who was doing that sort of menswear look for women on the red carpet. And so it really made her stand out, which I think as sort of a younger up and coming star is smart in the fashion game, right? And so her jewelry, she said she wore Chopard diamonds. Diamonds were definitely the trend tonight, just like tons and tons of like white diamonds. And she said to Chopard, I want a diamond ring for every finger, is what she told us. Yeah, and she got it.
Yeah.
And it was so beautifully done. The clean white diamonds, this fresh pressed shirt.
Yeah.
The way it was tucked into her pants.
Yeah,
the cummerbund.
Tailored perfectly. And then the eye makeup, just that little wingtip liner, and then this
And
beautiful
the hair. The
Yeah,
hair.
it was fantastic. Great
Gorgeous.
look.
Yes, my God.
Now we are sitting thankfully, which is the perfect transition. Best shoes! Let's talk about the shoes. Ooh, the shoe game was everything.
Oh my
Who
God.
wore the best shoes of the night?
Okay, well, I would say, all right, Natasha Lyonne in that Schiaparelli look, I mean, her boots were insane.
So cool.
Like, she had, again, talk about the total look. She had Schiaparelli, like, corset dress. The texture of the dress was incredible. She had these, like, oyster shell earrings.
Yes.
And then these boots that she lifted up her dress and showed us. They were the exact same color as the dress. And they had this, you know, very, again, surreal lock on each toe, and is just so edgy and cool. And again, she's like the kind of person who can pull that off.
Yeah, she was
Agreed.
not taking herself seriously at all.
Yeah,
Either. She
yeah.
was so fun and cool.
Yeah.
She can pull it off. And again, it's the kind of thing that you see Schiaparelli in a real scenario and you're like, oh, this is how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, and an,
You know?
and an evening boot. How cool is that?
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she looked great,
Yeah.
I have to tell you. Very empowered.
So we know that fashion isn't always about having fun. It's also about self-expression, identity, individuality. And sometimes you have to take a risk. We look for that. In fact,
Yes.
sometimes that can kick off a whole new fashion trend.
Yes.
So, most daring. I haven't
Yes.
heard you guys go there yet. Who surprised you? Who caught your eye?
I mean, Billie Eilish, I have to tell you, she's a risk taker,
100%.
and it was interesting to see with the change of creative director at Gucci, what is she gonna do?
True.
But then she did something very smart. She went for an independent designer, Willie Echevarria, amazing designer,
American designer.
New York based, and she took what is becoming like his trademark signature of oversized tailoring.
Which is so
mixed it-
Billie.
So Billie, exactly. And then she mixed it with super interesting futuristic makeup and hair, with the round glasses, and all of a sudden she looked like a very cool kid.
Yeah.
And she killed it.
Yeah.
I have to say. But it was very daring,
Yeah.
very unconventional, very her.
And very street style.
Yeah, very street
So
style.
edge.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, she's creating a bridge from the Gucci era into a new world.
Yeah.
And I have to say, she really surprised me. She was definitely daring.
And that's gonna be so major for Willie too. I mean, to
Totally.
get this exposure on, and that's another thing we talked about
Yes.
earlier, which was that, you know, we would see some surprises and that, you know, maybe this would be a big moment for new designers who we would discover and who hopefully the rest of the world will discover through
Yes.
through the carpet.
Again, it just speaks to if you are confident in what you're wearing, it's fashion.
Yeah.
All right, so now we've talked about the newcomers, you guys. We want to talk about who was iconic and why.
Okay.
This is big. This is big.
We had a bit of a discussion
we
over
did.
that.
Very controversial.
Yeah. All right. We gave it to Meryl Streep. Who,
Okay.
I mean,
Oh,
let's say
yes.
she's just a badass. But you know,
Badass.
she wore this Valentino black sequin skirt suit, so long, you know, long skirt and jacket, and then a white bow blouse. And to us, she was kind of channeling her character in The Devil Wears Prada.
Instantly.
Yeah. I mean, it was almost like a sort of like workwear as evening wear
Yeah.
look.
Yes.
But yeah, again, she looked like the boss.
Oof.
And so,
Major
you know,
attitude.
I think that's it. What is an icon but a boss?
Yeah, I love the idea. Then we said everybody wants to be us, Andrea.
Yeah.
So I know this is very typical and predictable, but we had to go there.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
she
there were
was-
others who we
There
could,
were,
I
there was
mean,
a lot
like,
of business power happening at
Yeah,
the same time.
yeah.
And that was business power, but with sequence.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
great.
Perfect for
exactly.
the
I loved
globes.
it. And I have to tell you, we discussed which sentence we're gonna use from the movie, and Everybody Wants to Be Us was the one. But
Yeah.
we had many, I have to say. I have to say, Devil's
sure- I
Wear
would
Prada
have-
is still a cult classic
Yeah.
for us.
Oh,
you know?
of course.
I
It's perfect.
also really liked visiting with Helen Mirren on the red carpet.
Oh my gosh.
That was the argument we had.
So
Another icon.
Yes.
Honestly,
That was the
Meryl
argument
Streep
we
is an iconic choice.
Yes.
And Helen Mirren for me, just as she floated onto our carpet in
And
that
Dolce,
lavender and
yes.
pink, and
The
then
Dolce. And then
the
she
layers
opened
and
the
hair, and
coat.
she also
Yeah.
did the shadow mixed with the dress.
Yeah.
and
Totally.
just perfect.
Yeah.
Can you tell the story about the stilettos, please?
I mean, Booth and I were inquiring who are Helen Mirren's favorite shoes when she needs to find something comfortable. And she said, well, she loves to take a stroll down our legendary Hollywood Boulevard and to pick up a good old pair of 10-inch stilettos. Because she said the strippers know exactly which are the most comfortable shoes. And she likes a good little pair over there for $39.99. I will be
God.
making my way there tomorrow.
Oh my
I'm
God.
coming with
Because
you.
Helen Mirren said exactly what I need to hear. which
Got to
is-
get her a shoe collaboration.
Yes, please.
Yeah, and a
Everything.
statue in my house.
This is the moment I've been waiting for. This is the only reason why I came here. Is because I have been dying to know who Alex Medea and Booth Moore are going to pick as WWD Style Awards Best Dressed. This is a big one.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys took a long time to debate over this because we had so many phenomenal choices last night. But we want to know who is this year's 2024 Golden Globes Best Dressed.
This was a disaster.
It was hard, but you know, I mean, Dior made such a huge showing.
Yes.
I
Okay.
mean, like probably dressed 20 people. And so, you know, we went in that direction.
All right.
And what we came up with was Natalie Portman.
Oh my gosh.
Have to.
Yeah.
Die.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see how many tiny little petals
Yes.
were on that
I know.
dress?
I hope people can see it. The
I-
craftsmanship involved in the creation of that dress.
Yeah.
The zoom in, you could
Please
not
zoom
pinch and
in.
zoom enough to see how intricate those little petals were. And
There
they
were
all had
thousands of them.
tiny little pearls on top of the
Sewn.
petals. And then it was on top of a mesh.
I
So that
know.
if you looked closely, you could see her little skin underneath.
I know. It was
so
like
pretty.
a garden of delights, that dress.
Yeah.
I mean, just
And then it
with
The
ombre.
gradation
Yeah,
going
yeah.
up of the garden.
Die.
What I also liked about it was that the silhouette was pretty modern, you know?
Yes.
It was like sort of a tank silhouette. It wasn't like, again, like you said, you know, super corseted
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yes.
It was kind of just looked easy.
Cool.
You know, I'm sure it was actually pretty heavy because of that embroidery,
Yes.
but it looked easy.
I also want to mention, sorry,
No,
that
please.
Rosamund Pike was a very close second.
Yes.
And I want to say that because the T-length, also Dior dress, the T-length is becoming such a big trend of the
Yes,
night.
right.
I just want to say that that was so great as well, you know?
Absolutely.
And I love the story behind that because she said
Yes.
that she had a skiing accident over the holiday and she hurt her chin. And so she went to Philip Tracy, who has to be one of the best hat makers in
Oh,
the entire
number one.
world. And she said, you know, I need something to cover this chin, essentially. And it didn't even, you know, it matched so well with the dress. It's astonishing that they weren't like made together. But,
Right.
you know, yeah, just to also to like sort of have the daring to wear a face mask on the red carpet and like,
When it's all
you know,
about
that
ego,
dress.
right?
She was like working it and owning it and just, you know, yeah, it was a phenomenal look.
I agree.
That's
I
a
think-
great honorable mention.
Yeah.
Yes, because I do think Dior was the winner of the night
I
as
know,
well.
yeah.
And we're talking about brands, they dominated.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
well,
good.
to
Thank you.
Dior, to Rosamund, and of course to Miss Natalie Portman.
Yes.
Yes.
That was a phenomenal night. I'm just bubbling and floating now
Yeah.
with still all the imagery and the inspiration for the years to come. And for this upcoming award season. We're just getting started.
Oh my God, you're right.
This is power.
Yes.
This, what's happening is power. People are ready to go.
This is fashion.
Yes,
Yes.
this is fashion.
And with that, those are your 2024 WWD Style Award winners. You guys killed it. Thank you so much for
Thank
all the information, the
you.
facts, just this information that you shared has inspired me so much to just take a whole new look at the red carpet and understand the magic and the years that it takes behind it.
Oh my
So
God,
thank you for
Jeannie, you
that.
were the best. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so,
So much fun.
This was great. Thank
I'm
you.
honored to be here with you guys. Thank you guys all at home for watching. I hope you had fun too. And if you had any final thoughts on this incredible night, please do share in the comments. Make sure you're following the gram, WWD. Make sure that you're commenting on all of our footage. Follow Alex Badia and Booth Moore. And we'll see you guys next time. Mwah!
Thank you.